Listen, I got so far so good, but there's not too much snow. The walking trails, they're clean from the snow.
You know, I get more tweets in the wintertime than any other time from residents. And it's a tough one because, you know, people have an expectation that roads are going to be clean quickly and that sidewalks are going to be cleaned quickly. And as well that they're going to be done so, you know, there's no slipping and sliding. And
but the walking trail is nice.
Yeah, but that's, you know, it's virtually an impossible thing to do. And, you know, we're just living in a part of the world where when you have transitional periods from rain to freezing rain to low temperatures, I mean, it's very dangerous.
But the walking trail and the bridge, I walk the bridge every night, and it's a nice walk.
Well, back
It's
a few
flat,
years ago,
it's a
you were
nice
in here
walk.
doing one of these videos, and you were whining and complaining about the trails and the fact that we didn't clean them in the wintertime, and you know, we do that now.
Yes, you do.
So, you know, now if we get a complaint, it might be that we hadn't done it soon enough, or.
Yeah.
But no, we do the best we can. I think we've got a pretty good community insofar as you know what our public works people do. They do the best they can. And when there's a bad storm and the wind is blowing, and somebody calls me and says, you know, there's nobody out there. We don't normally go out in the middle of a storm and clear the roads. We expect that most people, unless they have to be to work, are at home and let the crews do their job. And it's usually after the wind dies down, so you don't get a continual drift and have to keep redoing it.
You got the walking trails, some of the walking trails. Okay, beautiful trails. I even sent a couple of pictures to ATV News, and they use them. Cindy Day picture of the night or the day or whatever, and from Carlton Park, the sunset.
You take some really good pictures, Charles.
Thank
It's
you.
just some of the other stuff on your
Yeah,
site
I know,
that
I
have
know,
a problem
I
with.
know. But that's what happened when you get sidetracked. But anyway, and never mind that. We'll talk about that later. But the trails are nice, beautiful.
Wonderful. Great. I think probably the greatest asset that we have here in the city.
The problem I'm having is the park patrol.
Yeah.
Now, you know that. You read the blog. Why do we have them there?
Well, we have them there because there are a number of people that are using the trails, some elderly people. If in the event that anybody needed assistance or if anybody needed something, they are there, they have radio contact, and they can ensure that...
Everybody has a cell phone, Brad. Everybody
Yeah, but
can call.
everybody's not working, you know, for the city. Charles, there are things that happen on the walking trail that need to be attended to. And those kids are hired and they're out there and they're basically doing their job to keep people safe on the walking trails.
Yeah, but if these kids go around and chase after people with mental disorders, they got no helmet, they're on the trail. I seen it. You know how I feel about this. I appeared in front of the Public Safety Committee here. You weren't there. And it went well. And I don't know if it's going to accomplish anything. But it's pretty bad when you go after people, and these people with mental disorders.
Well, first of all, let me tell you, there's nobody on that park patrol, those kids that are, you know, seeing somebody and say, well, there's somebody that has a mental problem, let's go after them. You know.
I seen it, Brad.
Well, yeah, you've seen it, but you know, you're of the feeling that that they're doing this because the person has you know, some sort is mentally.
No, you can tell the
unstable.
way he's dressed. You can tell the person is, you know, whatever. And then if they get...
But when I see you walking down the street, Charles, I don't look at you and you say, well, there's a guy with a mental problem, although you have one.
Yeah.
But I can't tell by looking at you.
No, if you see blogger behind the back, there's nobody walks around with a blogger sign behind his back. You got to have a mental problem. Never mind
I
that.
see you walking towards me. But
Yeah,
anyway,
no, but
listen, it's 10:30. I have somebody else out waiting
Oh,
for
you're
me.
changing the subject.
Well, I have to, because you'll flog this one until 7 o'clock tonight,
No,
and I'll
no.
miss all my appointments.
No, what I'm saying is...
What I'm saying is the kids are out there to protect the citizens. They do a lot of good. They reassure the public who are out there using the trail that that there is people, and we are keeping an eye on it. We do not want bikers using excessive speed when they're on the trails, because it's not good for the pedestrian mix and the biker mix. And we got skateboarders. Now we have mums with the strollers. We got wheelchairs. There's a lot of conflicts on that
Oh, yes.
trail. So
No question about it.
It's not bad that you have somebody that has a presence and a visibility. You know, for some folks that are out walking there and the park patrol walks by, they like that. And,
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get a helmet. I'm going to get a helmet, bicycle helmet. I'm going to get a bicycle, and I'm going to follow them this summer. I'm going to follow them, and I'll show you the video of what they do. And when
well, also show me the good stuff that they do. I mean, don't have it slanted one way, where they stop somebody and you're all over it making a big deal on your blog. I mean, if you see them stop and help somebody, I want to see it all. I don't want to see just your, narrow view.
One-sided
No,
view.
so show me both.
Yeah,
Show
no,
me both when the person tripped over there on the north side and required assistance and got assistance. I mean, I want to see that. I want to see people, that will come up to your camera and say, am I ever glad they were here? So it's like your beef with the police force. I mean, they do so much good, but you don't talk about the good stuff.
Listen, hold it. Reed used to sit down, me and you, on this desk right here.
On this desk.
On this desk. Okay. We sat across from each other at this desk. Mm-hmm. And I was the biggest supporter of the Fredericton Police Force. They couldn't do wrong. Yeah. We talk about this, me and you. They couldn't do wrong.
And at that time, if my memory served me correctly, you were really down on the RCMP. You had a real serious problem with the racist RCMP.
No, fascist. This thing here, I call it.
And then all of a sudden, the next thing I know, you're having a problem with the Fredericton City Police, and you're even calling for the RCMP to come in here and take over. And I'm thinking,
you don't think so?
Well, that's not going to happen.
No.
No, I mean there was you got to have a reason for that to happen, and it's got to be quite a compelling reason for sure. Any place that's got the RCMP will tell you that they don't get the service that they do with a municipal force. Number one, and number two, they have people coming and going all the time, and the police force who lives in the community, works in the community, coaches hockey in the community, and does a lot of things where they actually get to know people. So I think that's an advantage. So you get more of a personal service when you get a municipal police force.
You believe the Fredericton Police Force are good members of the community?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you don't take like this Bernard Richard. You were happy with that?
I wasn't happy spending the money.
$40,000.
And but I can tell you, if we didn't spend the money, and if we didn't get the right person for the job, who was, in the public's eyes, a good person, we would have been criticized, and probably one of the biggest criticizers would have been you on your blog, saying, they didn't even investigate this. So, that's a situation where, as mayor, you can't win. And the whole thing is, I was absolutely shocked that you and the police officer didn't even talk to Bernard Richard.
Yeah, I know.
And I think that was a mistake. This whole thing was done as a result of something that was done to you. Bernard Richard went into this with the best of intentions to try and figure out what had happened. I think it only makes sense that you should have sat down and talked to him.
Well, we thought you were going to talk about our Charter of Rights, and I'm not intelligent enough to talk about my Charter of Rights.
Well, you're intelligent enough to know if you were wronged and somebody's trying to get to the bottom to figure out what had happened. You know enough that it certainly makes sense that you tell your side of the story. I think that's very important. And when you told me that he didn't speak to you, I was very upset about that. But then I found out you were invited, and your lawyer said, or whatever, for whatever reason, that was a bad thing. I mean, we paid this money to get to the bottom of a situation that involved you. Yeah. And there's no question. I mean, people wanted to get the truth. They wanted to get the answers. And Bernard Richard's the type of guy that's going to give it to you.
But the police even lied to Bernard Richard. They said, call him a sexual predator and the whole thing. And plus, that's where we're going to put a complaint against. But that's another story. It's something that when you have... Are you concerned having the... This all started with BCL. You read the blog. Should the police work at the legislature? This
Well, they do in every other jurisdiction across the country. I mean, they provide security. So, I mean, we do it at the jails. We do it at the legislature. It's one of the prices that you have to pay when you're a provincial capital. There's so many benefits to being a provincial capital, but on the other side of that, there's a cost as well. So every time we have a protest, provincial capitals tend to have a lot of protests because this is where government is. This is where the premier is. So when we have a protest, for example, I mean, it ties up a lot of staff time, police cars and public works people with barricades and things like that. But it's the price that you pay for being a capital.
Okay.
In 3, 2, 1. I got somebody waiting.
One more thing. Ain't you concerned of, like, you said it before, and we'll talk about it again, having Dan Biccia giving orders to the police to go after citizens?
I don't, I don't subscribe to anybody outside our police force giving orders to the police force to do something against any citizen. I made it abundantly clear when you got your ticket on a third party that I thought that was wrong. We shouldn't do that to you or anybody else. You see an infraction, and you want to enforce it, then enforce it. But I certainly did not like that happening. I don't like third-party complaints, unless it happens to be a murder and it's a tip. But I mean, somebody's driving on their bicycle without a helmet. I don't think it's anybody's business but the police force to enforce that.
Right fast. You think panhandlers should go to jail for bylaws offense?
Well, I think anybody that has a fine and doesn't pay it has to go to jail. That's the way the law is. You can't differentiate between those that have and those haven't. Panhandling is something that
Addiction?
Well, it is, and in many instances, people, have no other choice. We understand that. The one thing that I said that I will not tolerate in this community is aggressive panhandlers that use bad language around women and are intimidating around other people in the downtown. If you do that, we're going to come after you. So there's a big difference in panhandling being aggressive and non-aggressive, passive type panhandling.
Prediction 2013?
I think 2013 is going to be a good year. At least in Fredericton. Around the world, I can't predict because it's too crazy. We're living in a real wacky world right now. Too many people killing other people, and too many people who really don't see the forest for the trees. That's sad. That's unfortunate. Which brings me back to the point: when you live in this city, you get a pothole, you get some slippery sidewalks and slippery roads. But you know what? If you're living here compared to the rest of the world, you are blessed, and you are living in a wonderful place with great people.
Okay, just one more thing, right quick. You mentioned years ago in this interview that you were a fan of what's that Mideast station, TV station?
Al Jazeera?
Yeah, you watched it. And Al Gore sold it to them. He was on TV last night saying, defending Pierre Morgan, I think.
He was on Jon Stewart.
Jon Stewart, that's where he was. Thank you.
Daily Show.
Daily Show.
Every night.
I love it. So we should have a Daily Show here. My God, be a lot of things to talk about. But he defended to sell it to that station.
Qatar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought his explanation was a good one. Qatar is one of the greatest allies that the United States has. Secondly, it is doing something, although it's an oil-producing region, it is doing something about solar and wind. It is, trying to set a better example. But beyond all of that, Al Jazeera is a reputable organization providing, news around the world. And for Al Gore's company to now be a part of that, I think it's going to give even better reporting. So I'm not one that subscribes to only one view. I like to hear all the views. I like to hear what the BBC says when they report on something, not just the American networks. So the more the merrier. And I got a number of them that I subscribe to and watch. I haven't watched Al Jazeera for quite a while, but when there's a conflict going on in somewhere in the Middle East that I want to get caught up on the news, they've got some very incredible reporters. In
closing, right quick, I thought I'd get an hour with you, and you just cut me off guard. I have to go. Congratulations, good video on you in the parking garage.
That was a great one. I think we fooled a lot of people.
We fooled? So
get out of here quick.
You get a lot of comments on that video?
I did. But it was funny. But you know what? It's always good when you can laugh at yourself. I don't have a problem laughing at myself. You and I walked out on the wrong floor, and you were in my ear.
You were lost for 5 minutes. I say he's
and
lost.
I was lost, and it was a funny video. And you know what? If I could bring a little laughter into somebody's day that makes their day a little bit better, then that's a good thing.
That's well said. You know what some people told me when they saw that? It showed the human side of the mayor.
I'm human, baby. I'm human.
It's hard to believe, but anyway. See ya.